You need to hear this if you're a fan of haunted places. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more haunted places stories. There's a place high up in the Rocky Mountains, a place so haunted even the man who inspired The Shining couldn't ignore its sinister energy. This isn't just another ghost story, this is the Stanley Hotel, a place where the dead don't rest easy. You might have heard of it. The grand white hotel with its red roof, standing proudly under the Colorado sky. But beneath its polished exterior lies something dark, something twisted. Visitors have reported unexplained noises, ghostly figures and chilling whispers in the night. Some of them left the Stanley Hotel with more than just a story. They left with scars. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about the strange, real-life encounters that have made the Stanley Hotel one of the most haunted places in America. Keep listening, because once you hear these stories you might think twice about booking a room there. The Stanley Hotel was built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, the inventor of the Stanley steamer automobile. He and his wife, Flora, intended for the hotel to be a luxurious retreat for the wealthy, a place to enjoy the fresh mountain air and escape from the stresses of city life. But from the very beginning something was off. Freeland and Flora poured their hearts into the hotel, but Freeland was a sickly man. He suffered from tuberculosis and moved to Colorado hoping the mountain air would heal him. And maybe it did, for a time. But even after his death in 1940, many believe Freeland never left the Stanley Hotel. Guests and staff have reported seeing him walking through the halls dressed in a formal suit, inspecting the property with a stern expression. Others have heard the soft sound of piano music drifting through the halls late at night, only to find no one at the piano. Some say it's Flora still playing her favorite tunes long after her death, but that's only the beginning. Let me tell you about room 217. This is where one of the most infamous incidents in the hotel's history took place. In 1911, a housekeeper named Elizabeth Wilson was working in room 217 during a powerful thunderstorm. The hotel had just installed an acetylene gas lighting system which was notoriously unstable. During the storm, the gas began to leak into the room. Elizabeth entered the room with a lit candle, and the entire room exploded. Miraculously, Elizabeth survived, but barely. She suffered broken ankles and severe burns. But here's where it gets strange. After Elizabeth recovered, she continued working at the hotel until her death. And many guests who have stayed in room 217 have reported unusual activity ever since. Some have woken up to find their bags mysteriously unpacked. Others have felt a strange presence sitting on the edge of the bed while they slept. Male guests in particular have reported being tucked into bed, as if a motherly figure was watching over them. The staff believe it's Elizabeth, still trying to care for the guests even in death. And then there's Stephen King. Yes, that's Stephen King. In 1974, King and his wife stayed in room 217 for one night while the hotel was closing down for the season. They were the only guests in the entire building. That night, King had a terrifying nightmare of his young son being chased down the long, empty hallways of the hotel by a possessed fire hose. He woke up drenched in sweat and sat down to smoke a cigarette. By the time he finished, the outline for The Shining was already forming in his mind. King later said the Stanley Hotel practically wrote the book for him. The fourth floor of the Stanley Hotel is known as the most haunted part of the building. This is where the servants and nannies used to stay, and some believe their spirits never left. Guests have reported hearing the sounds of children laughing and running through the halls late at night, but when they open the door, the hallway is empty. One couple staying in room 401 reported hearing loud footsteps above them throughout the night. Heavy, deliberate steps, even though they were on the top floor. A man named Paul worked as a night watchman at the hotel until his death in the early 2000s. Guests have reported hearing him whisper, "Get out," in the dead of night. Some have even seen his shadowy figure standing at the end of the hallway, watching them silently before disappearing. There's a spot in the hotel known as the Vortex, the grand staircase that leads to the second floor. Paranormal investigators believe this is a portal where spirits pass between worlds. Guests have reported feeling dizzy and lightheaded as they climb the stairs. Some have even captured photos of strange orbs and unexplained shadows lurking near the staircase. One guest described feeling a cold hand grip her wrist as she walked up the stairs. When she turned around, there was no one there, but when she looked down, red marks were forming on her skin. And then there's Lucy. Lucy was a young girl who is believed to have taken refuge in the Stanley Hotel sometime in the 1970s. No one knows exactly where she came from, but some believe she was a runaway. Security found her hiding in the basement of the concert hall, but before they could help her, she vanished. Some say she froze to death in the harsh Colorado winter. Today, visitors to the concert hall have heard a young girl's voice singing softly in the dark. Ghost hunters have captured recordings of Lucy saying "I'm cold" or simply humming. One man who spent the night in the concert hall reported feeling a sudden sharp tug on his coat. When he turned around, he saw a pale figure standing in the shadows, a young girl with long dark hair and empty eyes. A guest named Jason stayed at the Stanley Hotel in 2014. He wasn't a believer in ghosts. He thought all of it was nonsense. But after one night in room 428, he changed his mind. Jason woke up in the middle of the night, feeling like someone was watching him. He opened his eyes and saw a tall, shadowy figure standing at the foot of his bed. It had no face, just a dark outline. Jason froze. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The figure slowly leaned toward him, and then Jason heard a deep, gravelly voice whisper, "Leave." Jason shot out of bed, grabbed his things, and ran down the hallway. When he got to the lobby, the night clerk was waiting for him. "You saw him, didn't you?" the clerk said calmly. "Don't worry. He doesn't usually follow people home." The Stanley Hotel is still open today. You can book a room, even room 217 if you dare. But be careful, because some guests never leave. Sweet dreams. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more haunted places stories.